Live 17 floors up, and when it rains, I can feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. But when the sun comes out, I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds, I will give a smile. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and up, and when I cry, I can see the city through my watered eyes. Lets me know that I'm still here. When my eyes clear up, I will go outside. I'll imagine you're still by my side. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Run away, to the nearest place where I'll find all my old friends. Good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the WePlay Tug of War Mad Moon group stages. So you've got the boys of Gambit taking up the other boys of Infamous Gaming. I am Fluke, and once again I'm joined by the King of Creams himself, Danog Dota, my friend. What a smacking Gambit gave Infamous just then.
Yeah, poor Robbo was down at the RSL and he didn't have a good time, definitely.
Poor Robbo's just thinking a few too many VBs before he started to come in and play today. But, you know, sometimes it's just what you do. You feeling it, you're like, you know, I'm just going to sink a few frothies with the boys, try and come in, play some dotes, and it just doesn't work out. So what he's going to have to do, he's going to hit the coffee, run on the treadmill for a little bit, sober up a little bit, and now try and get his head in the game for Infamous game number 2, because this is the end all and be all. They need to get the win here, otherwise they're going to go out 2-0. Not go out, but they're going to lose 2-0 here to Gambit Esports, and that's not a good start to your group stages, especially when there are quite a few really good teams at this tournament as well. You know, you've got the likes of NIP, Team Secret that are here as well, Nigma's here. You've got all these really big juggernauts in the EU scene, even in the pro scene. And you're going down to one of the middle pack teams at the start. It's not going to be a good run for an Infamous at Mad Moon.
There's been no Batrider banned. It's open. I'm not sure, you know, now that they've quote-unquote cheesed them by, you know, picking the Batrider super early on and then actually throwing him mid. Maybe they won't do it again, but they could just go back to the well one more time.
Well, surprisingly enough, in the lobby, Gambit actually got first priority, and they wanted to pick second pick straight away. And as you said, the Batrider was not taken away straight away. A little update for...
Exactly the same draft.
Pretty much. Is it going to like... Yep. All right.
Exactly the same draft.
Okay, so Infamous and Gambit are going to go, all right, boys, let's run it back. And
no tiny mid.
No, I don't think they're going to do that ever again. But a little bit of an update on the other streams. Team Secret took a very convincing game 1 up against Bait, where they had a Bat Rider as well. That was going up against the Troll Waller, which is a hero that was surprisingly untouched in the last game that we had here. So that's a good little start there for Team Secret, and I believe the other games haven't finished just yet. So if we get any more updates, we'll let you guys know throughout the game. But yeah, as we said, Infamous and Gambit, they want to hit the rewind button and see if we can get game 1 done all over again. I want to see if Pepita has a better time with his Disruptor.
Yeah, I think still, like, Earth Spirit's stronger than he used to be. I don't think he's, just picket potential. You need to have an insane Earth Spirit on the team, and I wasn't quite sure what it counted, It's reasonably good at countering stuff like the PL, because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. You're not going to hit an illusion. You actually hit the real one, so you can then follow up with the rest of your team. But other than that, it didn't really give them much in the form of initiation. Granted, they were playing on the back foot for a lot of the game. Maybe if they got a bit of extra farm on their non-POS 1 core, like Lifestealer still had an okay game, but he didn't really do anything with it. And that was the biggest issue for Infamous in game 1.
Yeah, it did feel like there was a bit of a disconnect. But hopefully Infamous have figured out what the issues were in that first game. They have figured out how to fix it in the second game here, because they think that the Disruptor Lifestealer were perfectly fine in that last game. They're going to take out the Faceless Void as well, and I'm going to see if they're going to run it all the way back and go, their Legion Commander and Earth Spirit here as well.
Wow. This is another one of their... It might be a support. You don't know.
Yes.
AA is another one of their 100% win rate heroes on Gambit's side, so they're feeling very confident with that. One of the heroes that Infamous bans out a lot, so they clearly don't like playing against it, or it just goes very well against this Lifestealer pickup, is the Bloodseeker, and they've yet to ban it out yet. So I wonder if Gambit might look to go for that sort of thing, because there's some pretty good combo potential with it as well. If you get the Blood Ride off, it's pretty good combo together with the Earthshaker and the AA, and of course you can just drag someone into it and make sure that they're silenced for a long time.
That is true. You can also drag somebody from Rupture at the same time, doing a little bit extra damage as well.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I do like it as well. Another hero that's kind of a little bit of a counter to the Lifestealer is the Ursa, which had a meteoric rise when it first got the little buff to his little front flip that he does, but has fallen off quite a lot. Is there a reason that the Ursa is not just picked as a straight counter to the Lifestealer? Well, here's another one.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a lot of little nerfs, basically, that eventually add up. You're like, oh, okay, Ursa, had his armor nerfed a little bit, but it's still good. Oh, well, they reduced the duration of the Fury Swipes, but it's still good. Oh, wait, they've added this other thing. It just little things, bit by bit. It's going to make you have a bad time. And I feel like Gambit's draft, they've got pick-off, they've got tower taking, they've got AoE, they've got stuns. I'm liking it so far. It feels like Infamous's might be a little bit more difficult to execute, to be able to really burst down that Troll Warlord, because right now, they're not going to win any straight-up team fight. They need some damage that's going to be able to go onto this Troll Warlord at the very start of the game.
Well, yeah, I think the biggest thing that Gambit have going for them in their draft right now is their draft is fairly similar to what they had in Game 1. A little bit less team fight on their end with the Faceless Void not being there, but still kind of the same vein. And they also have last pick as well, so Gambit can still toss this Bat Rider in the mid lane if old Matt Robbo picks up the Tiny one more time. They can throw that Bat Rider in there again, because they demonstrated how strong it was that FN just absolutely dominated that lane and got a very early boots of trouble. And I think that's the thing that's going to shoot Infamous in the foot here, is they're going to have to make sure that they have these two last picks super strong. They're going to have to be good laners and good flexible laners. You're obviously probably going to pick your position 4 here, right? Or maybe
it could be the Tiny Pos 4. Who knows?
Yeah, so they pick their offlaner.
There's the offlaner. And the thing is, Gambit, obviously, as you said at the start, they had the priority for whether they wanted first or second pick, or whether they wanted to choose their side, and they chose the second pick. So it's clear to me that they've got a real priority of, right, we're confident we can be flexible enough with our early picks. There's nothing that's super busted that Infamous are going to pick that we're not going to be able to deal with. We just want that last pick. We want to have all of the information and then round out our draft using that.
And that's a a super big kind of mind game that you have with these really good drafters. FNG has been touted as one of those really good drafters. Even though he might not have the success as some of the other ones that are at this tournament specifically, but he has always been known to be a very, very good drafter, and we saw that in the first game. Being able to throw the Bat Rider in towards that mid lane made a lot more sense there for Gambit, and even here as well, just being able to have that last pick and potentially throw the curveball to Infamous. But Infamous can also do the same thing with their last pick, try and have it ambiguous in a position 2 kind of mid laner, where it's either the Tiny or that hero that's going to be going mid. But Gambit, they have one more ban left on the cards. Would you ban Lina if you were Gambit? Kind of that 4 mid lane kind of hero that can do okay against Bat.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, they get rid of the puck. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Although Infamous doesn't really play the puck all that much, so yeah. I think it's just a thing where you don't want to be caught in a dream coil and not able to do anything. And, well, actually, Infamous doesn't have any real way to deal damage from afar, It's actually Gambit that's going to have the advantage if it does become like a catapult-style game, sieging from afar.
That is true. Infamous have their last ban as well. I mean, both teams don't really have a very straightforward ban, do they? What are Gambit kind of lacking here? They've got catch, they've got team fight, they've got pick off, they've got strong lanes.
They might ban like Invoker or something like that. They just don't like to play against it.
Yeah. I could see something like that being banned out here for Infamous.
They got a ton of damage anyway through the Bat Rider and the Troll Warlord, and Exort Invoker kind of sucks right now. So if you go Quaswex, you're going to have a decent time. You're going to enable the Troll Warlord eventually with your Alacrity. And it's just about, EMP, for example. Tiny doesn't have the largest mana pool. Same with Tide. If you can get a lot of that off, then you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Well, they get rid of the Timbersaw, which would have been just as good. They're going to go for the Kunkka here. I really like this pick here for Infamous. Again, it's one of those heroes that can be played 4. It kind of sucks as a 4, but it is a very, very strong mid laner. I'm not quite sure if Bat does that well against the Kunkka here, and if there is any mid laners that are left out that actually do well against the Kunkka. The one hero that comes to mind whenever I see a Kunkka is Veno. That's the hero that I've always seen to deal with Kunkka.
Yeah, I mean, there was that phase where Kunkka was a complete menace and it was picked every single game, and Veno was basically the only counter to him. I think it was like Veno and Razor and I want to say OD maybe that were and Timbersaw were the other counters for him.
Yeah, I think Timber and Veno were the 2 that you would try and strive for, but Timber felt kind of awkward sometimes because you ran him in situations where he wasn't the greatest of Timbersaw picks. But for Gambit here, I mean, I feel like they could pick a Veno. He is kind of susceptible to a Tiny rotation, though.
Yeah. I mean, you can see they've gone a very similar style of draft again. And early-ish, put a lot of pressure on what's going to enable them to do that. Death Prophet kind of sucks because you have to play around a long cooldown, and that's not what they want to do. You're not playing around the battle trance. Troll does a lot of damage regardless of that. So what else is there that they could pick? Potentially an Invoker? No, it's a Pangolier. Yeah, it's a lot of damage regardless.
Let's go Gambit Esports, bringing out the Pangolier here. I like Pango against these melee mids. Just being able to play around the RNG of man, what is it even called anymore? Lucky Shot? Yeah. Just being able to get that disarm out. It could be certain times where you swashbuckle through a wave, bam, Robbo doesn't have a way of tie bringing. Same with the Lifestealer. If you catch him out pretty early, you can get those disarms off, and he's going to have to use Rage at a disopportune time. Or even later on, once he gets that Basher, that's when it starts becoming scary against his Pangolier. And man, I like this Gambit draft. Allows them to play super fast. They don't really have to worry about all too many long cooldowns. They've got a good frontliner when the Troll Warlock can get his ulti off. They've got the Ancient Apparition ulti, which can deal quite well with the Lifestealer as well as the Kunkka Boat run. I'm kind of feeling this Gambit draft, man. I've after watching them play that kind of fluid, very kind of in-your-face first game, I'm feeling the Gambit for a 2-0.
So am I, but I'm feeling a lot more confident with Infamous's draft. I feel like what they accomplished with the Tiny in the previous game, Sledin on his pos 4 Tiny is probably going to be able to do similar sorts of stuff. I'm most worried about the Tidehunter because once you ult, what's the follow-up, you know? What are you going to do in the meantime? They don't have a ton of physical damage, so the gush isn't going to be fantastic. Or at least the immediate follow-up isn't going to be great. Yeah, you've got Lifestealer, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling quite as strong about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's that kind of wombo combo where one person, you know, you hit that Ravage and they're just going to instantly die, right? You've got the Sky Mage ulti or, you know, anything like that. You do have a decent amount of kind of prolonged damage. Like, Infamous really aren't going to be able to finish these team fights quickly and concisely, and it might be a little bit hard for them to play around something like a Pango who, you know, has multiple swashbuckles almost all the time, and who gets that Rolling Thunder out as well and can really kind of combo break this Ravage once it comes out. But they're smoking early here. FNG's walking onto the other side. Looks like they want to try and invade onto the Bounty Rune. They have sent Dream back to his other side, Robbo. Oh, Robbo is running into a few of these heroes here. They do get the Chilling Touch as well. XS Vampire has the Fisher, so we're going to try and block off the way of retreat here. Coming in with FN as well. He has that Swashbuckle, but the rest of Infamous are making their way towards this Bounty Rune.
He's got the toss leveled up, so wasn't able to get a multi-man. It might be FNG that dies as a result. Yeah,
looks like FNG's walked a little bit too far away from his team. XS Vampire is just trying to get himself out of there. The first blood goes the way of Pepita, so he's already rocketing himself closer towards that level 2 than what he did in that first game. But either way, it looks like they're going to be able to trade. I want to say Sharshlo. He's going to try and get the Bounty in here. Who has a quicker fingers?
3-1.
Looks like Darkest is. So old mate Sharshlo doesn't have that auto right clicker on, which is a little bit of a disappointment being an offlaner. I feel like that is stock standard for Bounty Rune hunting.
Yeah, we can see from the item build, Sladen's, he's going to be rotating through a lot. His priority is tossing people into a crappy position. You can also see the Observer Wards in the mid lane. The one by the Dire was dropped under a smoke, so wasn't actually revealed by the Radiant one. So we're going to see a lot of attention paid towards the top side, I feel.
I have a question about this, Mr. Danog, in your infinite wisdom.
Oh, don't put me on the spot.
What is the point of taking over those shrines so early on of the outposts?
It just adds one little extra objective that the enemy team need to remember, need to deal with. You could potentially TP behind them and, go for a little side gank. Although you really don't see that all that much.
Yeah, I was watching a few of the qualifier games, and some of the other casters were talking about it as well. Some of them were saying that it's necessary. Both. I was seeing quite a few of their teams kind of
top plate
changing a lot of these outposts. Oh, Sacred taking quite a lot of damage here, but Dream doesn't have the auto attacks. Laden, he's going to try and take out FNG instead. The first blood has already been taken. The body blocks from Dream, though, creates the space for his Ice Cream to get himself out of there. I bet you Danog is chuffed with that one. That looks like he has run back in as well. Sladen taking a bit of a right click here from the Ice Cream himself. He does throw out the cold feet, so Sladen's just going to walk himself away. No,
actually threw him backwards, so wasn't able to combo it together with the Gush, although I think it was a couple of mana short mid lane in a little bit of trouble. Robbo, not again.
Oh, Robbo, my mans, this doesn't look good for you. And unfortunately, he goes down again to FN, and it's like one of those lanes where FN is just kind of got his number.
Yeah. Similar sort of timing as well for this rotation from Shachlo. We saw on the Timbersaw at around the 2-minute mark, he walked. Ooh, very nice block coming through here as well, and he's going to be able to pick up the regen rune on top of that. It's pretty juicy.
He does get a lot of those creeps as well, so Pepita's not able to deny those up, which is not good for him, and it means that Sharshlo still does get quite a lot of the experience for that. But oh no, Robbo again. He's just getting ran at. Oh, the beautiful Fissure comes out from XS Vampire as well. Does FN have another Swashbuckle coming up? Another couple of seconds. This Pango mid is doing a lot of work. Oh man, if he cancels... Oh, he cancelled the salve on Robbo, mate. He is not chuffed. He needs another VB at the end of this game for sure. It looks like Dream picks up yet another kill on a Sacred. And I think this is the biggest thing that's coming up between Gambit and Infamous. It just feels like Gambit are just winning these lanes a lot harder than what Infamous are.
Yeah, I mean, that's their style. Gambit FN finally swaps in his Wraith Band that was sitting in his backpack for that entire mid-gag time. I think he popped a salve at like 90% HP to be able to do it, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite.
Hashtag efficiency, boys. Even though it's not really that efficient, but you
Yeah,
know,
it's inefficient.
Hashtag efficiency, boys. And they are looking to try and get more done here in that mid lane. Oh, he does miss a swashbuckle on the Robbo, so old mate's looking not too bad. Oh no, this is a beautiful rotation here from XS Vampire towards that mid lane. Torrent does miss as well. FN is looking for another kill. He doesn't have enough mana to get another swashbuckle in. And it looks like Pepita was able to pick up Sharslow towards that outpost as well. FN needs one more auto attack. Robbo, he just wants some creeps instead. Knew he wasn't getting away from the Pangolier.
Yeah, he knew he was going down. He already had the boots purchased up for himself. Ooh, ice cream in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's not looking too creamy right now. Out comes the cold feed as well, and he goes down. Dream's the one that's going to have to try and pick up the pieces. Unfortunately, he doesn't get any more from the Rockman, and he's just going to have to walk back to hitting creeps. This is a lot better start here for Sladen, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, essentially, I think he's got more Avatos combos off already than Robbo did the entire game one. So that shows how good it's looking.
I don't think that's an understatement, personally, as well. Oh, it looks like Sacred is taking quite a lot of damage here. The cold fit comes as well. Sladen's trying to make his rotation in. Dream. There's another rotation. Oh, no, he just gets the axes, and this Sacred looks like he's certainly going to be going down. Dream's the one that picks that up as well. FNG trying to give the little cold slaps here to Sladen, but it's not coming out for him. Cold feet. Oh, that's a beautiful fish. Man, this XS Vampire, he is honestly a beast.
It's looking pretty spicy, and they know they've got the ability to go and do this. Oh, he runs into Pepita now.
Yeah. Gets that enchant totem, but he doesn't whack Pepita with it. He is just trying to hold it here for the rune. Is he going to get the stun for it? Who gets it? Oh, XS Vampire is the one that picks it up, so that's a 3-for-1 here for Gambit. They like that already. FN's making his rotation as well. Uses that arcane rune. Gonna come in, he wants to get that Rolling Thunder. Oh, he's on the wrong side of the Fisher. XS Vampire sung his praises a little bit too early there. Oh, he does get it. And it looks like he's going to be able to pick up the kill there on the Sladen. If he misses that swashbuckle, that's a game over there. But FN was able to pick it up.
He kind of had the luxury, you know, he bottled up the Arcane Rune prior to that, so it would have been okay regardless. Now you can just see an easy transition into hitting into these neutral creeps. It feels like Gambit are playing, we were talking about efficiency, they're playing much more efficient than Infamous, right?
Yeah, it does feel like they're just getting the better end of a lot of these trades, and surprisingly enough, FN's not going for a very early Javelin. He's got the Wraith Band, and he's got the Blightstone as well, so he's going to try and go for a little more stats rather than just rushing Hideout into those Javelins. But, oh no, Robbo, quite a lot of damage here. They do have the Rolling Thunder coming up in a couple of seconds. That is a swashbuckle that does get cancelled. Nice little play there from Sladen. They're able to pick up the pesky Pangolier. The Ice Cream made his rotation, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he's the one that's going to be creamed on. Oh no, he's going to get destroyed. Oh, with the TP away. Unfortunately not. Robbo's the one that gets it there with the Torrent, and they're going to be able to get the kill onto the little icy pole. It's 2 already here for Infamous Sladen.
Yeah. Nicely done. Good jukes being done by Saker on the top side as well, although now he might be in a little bit of trouble.
He did a decent work here with the Anchor Smash, but he's just trying to dodge away from XS Vampire. He does have the Fisher, then looks like Kraken Shell is a little bit too strong there for the Fisher. And Dream isn't able to connect up, but XS Vampire, he's still chasing. He wants more. Does get the Enchant Totem hit. Oh, no.
These AAs as well.
The AA Illusions. Sacred. He's so tanky. And it looks like XS Vampire doesn't get juked by neutrals once again. And it's looking good here for Gambit.
You could just see how aggressive all of their wards are. It just embodies the style of play that Gambit wants to have. All of their warding is on the enemy side of the map so that they can do these rotations. They're playing their game and forcing Infamous to react.
And you can see how it enables Sharslow as well. He's in towards his hard camp on the Radiant side, and it means that also XS Vampire can constantly make these rotations from top towards mid. You can just keep walking between this triangle because he knows where everybody is. And he knows he's not going to walk into some weird, no vision area where he gets ganked by 3 heroes.
And we talk about comparisons to Game 1. Have a look at the net worth again. It's Lifesteal having a decent game. No one else remotely close on Infamous. And 3 very, very strong cores on Gambit's.
Yeah, it does feel like it's kind of the same tale as we had in that first game. It's looking alright for some of these heroes. Robbo doesn't have a good time, and it looks like it is a little bit hard to get to a point where Infamous have a grasp on this game.
Yeah, trying his best, getting a couple of stacks up, I feel, on Infamous. Looking to try and catch up here It is the 8-minute mark, so those neutral items are going to be up and running. Sacred has skilled his Ravage as well at the level 6, so not prioritizing the farm. He wants to make sure that they want a team
Roche pit. FN has had to use that Rolling Thunder to get himself away from the heroes of Infamous. They have 4 heroes here inside of the river as well, but FN rolls himself away.
Yeah. Even if he was a little more ballsy there, they had level 1 X marks and level 1 glimpse, so he wasn't going to be dying anytime soon. Look at all these stacks.
So much mobility with this Swashbuckle, and yeah, as you said, the stacks are just absolutely ridiculous. And he's going to have a very early Diffusal Blade here on FN, and that means it's going to be a lot harder for these heroes to try and get away from this Pangolier. They've just got so many slows and so many ways of connecting onto these heroes once they have that Diffusal Blade up.
These aggressive wards just keep coming, and in addition to just knowing where the enemy team is and being able to safely gank, one other benefit that we haven't touched on is the ability to spot out any sort of similar types of warding that Infamous are able to do. Obviously, you could see if they place them in a defensive manner, kind of like right on top of them, it's just very obvious. But even this one that was placed towards the top side right now, just by the Disruptor, it would have been spotted out really easily by this Dire Observer ward just to the left. He walks out of a vision, he has an Observer ward and 2 sentries, he walks back into the vision, he's just got a sentry. So clearly he's dropped something there.
Yeah, and it does feel like they can certainly play around that. As you said, just being able to understand where Infamous are having these wards, and because they were able to play such on the front foot here for Gambit, they were able to have that early vision and then get this extra kind of leg up against Infamous by being able to see where their vision is going to be. But Sharshlow, he's the one with the Boots of Travel already. He's walking towards Infamous. They don't have the glimpse or the X marks, so he gets himself away from that one.
You can see Infamous was always going to go this style of just trying to hold off Gambit for as much as they can. This is the go-to lifestealer build these days. Oh, Vampire, is he in trouble? Ooh, not quite.
He's getting around it, but it looks like Sladen's the one that's in trouble here. Actually, no, that's his own kinetic field.
Pretty handy.
It is
almost got
handy.
Stuck underneath the tier 1 tower there. Doesn't look like there's going to be that mad dash for the outpost. I say that, but we've got Shachlo and Vampire running straight for it.
Well, this is 4 heroes converging here from the side of Infamous as well. Sharslow's the one that's getting clear. He has quite a lot of moves, but oh, that is such a beautiful future. Excess Vampire. That is a chef's kiss for that one. They do take out Sacred on the top side of the map as well. So Gambit, they don't lose anybody, and they get themselves a kill on the offlaner at the same time.
Yeah, you can see Shachlo was like, come at me. I'm going to be able to have my teammate here to back me up. And that's
he's
the other
so
thing
fast.
Oh.
Darkest. They cancel the TP as well. So it looks like Sharslow's just going to be able to get themselves a free lasso here. Does get thrown into the A ult as well. That's a dead boy.
There goes a lot of their net worth. I mean, he just picked up the Boots of Speed. He doesn't have his phase boots yet, so he's not going to be able to take these extended team fights. You've got very mobile heroes in the Bat Rider, in the Pangolier. Even Troll is able to rotate between melee and ranged form and create havoc in that way. So it's looking pretty rough again for Infamous.
Yeah, it just feels like these lanes are just not going the way they want to, and they need to have these heroes that kind of press off the fact that they have good lanes. You're the Lifestealer, one of those heroes that gets that very early Maelstrom, starts greeting up a little bit, and then he can start fighting. But he's just not able to do it. Same with the Kunkka. He just doesn't have the levels. But speaking of, they caught out the Troll Warlord here. Dream is getting caught back, pulled back inside of the tag cell, so he doesn't get his ulti off. So speaking of, Gambit do lose their most farmed hero. They're coming back in here. Sharslow's caught out between 5 heroes on Infamous. And he's certainly going to go down. That's a nice little Fisher though, but Sharslow is stuck between so many heroes of Infamous. This is a beautiful little torrent. He's going to be able to take him out. So old mate Robbo doesn't even need items, mate. Just throws out the torrents from the gods.
Yeah, able to grab that one there. I keep saying this. It really feels like an exact replay of the last game. Remember when Void got picked off by a 4-man rotation from Infamous, and you were thinking, oh, maybe they've got something, but it wasn't too long until they finished up a couple of those key items and just turned the game on its head. Nearly Diffusal Blade picked up here by F. Yeah,
well, that's the thing, though, right? They get these nice little pickups before the items come out. And as soon as the net worth starts accruing, and as soon as this 4,000 net worth actually starts sticking on these heroes, that's when you're going to start to feel the empowerment. Because one of our old friends from Australian Dota, Woglet, shout out to my homie who's currently asleep right now. he always talks about, yeah, you might have 4,000 or 5,000 net worth, but it's not actually implemented on heroes yet. You know, some of these heroes might be holding 2,500 gold. Some of these heroes might be holding, 1,000 gold. And this is where it starts to accrue. This quote-unquote net worth lead isn't really transitioned into items just yet, and this is where it might look okay for Infamous until all those items start making impacts on these heroes.
Ooh, Sacred's in a little bit of trouble here.
He's getting caught out. Krakenshot does a decent amount of work here, but it looks like with the Rolling Thunder being able to catch him on the other side of the Fissure, takes him down. Excess Vampire sets it up once again on this Earthshaker. I mean, if your other team's watching these early group stage games here against Gambit, you're going to have to start thinking about this Batrider and this Earthshaker combo because they're just playing them so well.
Mm-hmm. You can see Sledden was so keen to try and take this farm in the mid lane. He's only about 450 gold away from his Blink Dagger, but he knows any misstep and he's just picked off easily. Arcane Room was popped by the Pango just before, so he's got mobility for day.
Yeah, well, the smoke up comes here from Infamous. They are looking for more. I don't know how much more they're going to be able to get out of this, but they're going to look for Excess Vampire nonetheless. He's sitting towards his top side of the map. He does almost have his own Blink Dagger, so Sladen's going to walk in, lead the charge here for his friends. There's the Avalanche and the toss. The toss comes in here from Robbo. He's the one that's getting caught out here. This is a nice little chain stun from Excess Vampire, but I'm certainly sure that he's going to be one that goes down. How long can he survive, though? They made the rest of the rotation here from Gambit. Out comes the Echo Slam as well. They kept Excess Vampire along for such a long time here. Out comes the Glimpse and FN. He's not going to get all the way out. And they haven't even taken the Earthshaker just yet. They do get Sladen out, but Pepita, he's stuck in the trees with no TP for 38 seconds. He does do a nice little juke. Excess Vampire.
Did he just revealed himself?
He just saw the kinetic field. Pepita, my man, 0 away. Excess Vampire. They're going to have a little 1v1 in the forest here, but Excess Vampire does not want to have a buy of that at all. The Glimpse comes back in. Pepita.
Oh.
Let's have a little internal monologue of Excess Vampire right here. He has 178 health. He knows he's getting glimpsed back into Static Storm. And he's just like, bro, please, I'm 100 gold away. Please,
He's
bro.
got raindrops. Yeah. Could
Please,
that make
bro.
him live?
Please. I'm 100 gold away. Don't do this to me.
Peter's just straight up dead, right? He's got a troll right on top of him.
Yeah, but if I'm in Pepita's brain right now, I'm going, man, I hope I kill this Earthshaker before I die.
Or, man, I wish I didn't use that kinetic field, because they had no idea. They thought he'd TP'd away.
Yeah, that is true. But if he gets the kill on the Earthshaker before he dies, that's honestly the best case scenario for him. You know, stops Excess Vampire from getting that Blink Dagger, which he is 100 gold away. But whether or not he can get it done is kind of interesting. So Excess Vampire is certainly just like, please Dream, please kill him as quickly as you possibly can. So it looks like we have a little bit of an extended pause. Internet problems on PC1.
Yeah. I mean, we can just see as well, just having a look at the minimap, there's no Observer Wards on Infamous's side. It's all Gambit. And a lot of that is just based on the pressure that they're... The first people to place down the Observer Wards have the information. And Gambit have just been constantly rotating, constantly putting pressure on, not giving people room to breathe.
That is true. Now I'm going to have to find my all vision.
F3?
Yeah. I set up. I have so many weird hotkeys on my keyboard that before I started doing a lot of like at home broadcasts and stuff like that, I didn't have to use so many. I need to get. This is pretty much just a cry out to get myself a Stream Deck, but I just have so many weird hotkeys that I've changed so many around that I keep forgetting where they are.
Yeah. First world problem, you know.
Yeah, true. First world problems. But speaking of first world problem, old mate Excess Vampire being 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger.
Oh no, my team's winning clearly, but I'm not going to get my Blink Dagger. It doesn't really matter if he dies, honestly, because he used his Echo, not to the greatest potential. It was some good footwork there by the Kunkka just to be out of the Aftershock range, but you're not going to get the big wombo combo off while you've still got that Echo off cooled.
That is true, but I'm sure that he's sitting there just going, bro, please, I don't want to be that guy. I want to get an early Blink Dagger. Also, thank the Lord for showcase mode.
Yeah. Who's your favorite hero right now, based off what they're wearing?
Their current position. Look at Troll Waller. He's doing a flip. He's halfway through his front flip from using whirling axes, And I really like the set and the Immortal. I really think it's a really good combination, really good use of the items. So it looks like Sladen has reconnected here, boys and girls. For those of you playing at home, it is quite late here in Australian time, so that's why I'm currently sitting in showcase view. Very tired. But also very excited to see if Infamous can bring this into a third game. So it looks like Pepita, he wanted to get the kill there on Excess Vampire, but he actually took almost no damage from that, and Dream cleaned him up.
Yep, just walks out of it. If only he didn't use that kinetic field.
Yeah, well, he's going to watch that replay, and he's going to be like, I shouldn't have kinetic fielded, but...
Shachlo?
Oh, sure.
No trouble. It costs both cores, though, to maybe be able to do... Oh,
they have nothing.
No.
Torrent was on cooldown. Another couple of
Just
seconds.
spamming the laugh emotes as well.
That's when you know that these guys are having fun. They know that they're ahead as well, you know. Having fun, spamming the ha-has, and what have you. But that was a kill gone begging. Unfortunately, they didn't have any more levels in the Torrent, so they weren't able to have the lower cooldown on the Torrent to throw it out onto the TPing away Batrider. But
Alright. Sladen's nearly got his blink. That's the key thing for them. They take out a sentry ward. I mean, they're picking up these sentry wards reasonably well, but they're not getting any of the observers.
that is true. Oh no, it looks like old mate is getting caught out here, Darkus. He's getting caught by FN as well as FNG, and he's got... Oh no, they've caught Robbo as well. This is not what you want if you're an Infamous fan. They've lost one of their cores already, and they're probably going to lose their mid laner as well. Robbo, old mate from your local pub, is just not having a fun day in Dota 2 right now, and goes down yet again. Double kill there for the Pango. And this means they're going to have some more objectives on the plate here for Gambit.
Yeah, you just saw again that all these deep observer wards by Gambit, they just spot out anything. They just de-warded the only... Oh, sorry, one of the two observer wards that that Infamous have on the map. Sacred is the intro.
Gambit, they want more. I did see a glimpse go all the way back here on one of these heroes. Looks like it was Sharslow that got sent all the way back down. But FN, he's found himself out Sacred, who has no mana left. This is the use of this early diffusal blade on somebody like a Tide Hunter. Kraken Shell is a hell of a spell.
Just instant Kraken Shell, you know?
It's just ridiculous that he doesn't even stop walking. It just procs that fast. Ridiculous. But either way, Sacred gets himself away from that. Gambit, they don't really waste all too much time. Sharslow got sent back towards the bottom side of the map anyways. Looks like he wants to try and get the kill here on the Tide Hunter. He has the Blink Dagger, so he's just going to try and chase his Tide for as long as he possibly can. He knows that he doesn't have Ravage to play with, and he's
running
just going to chase him down.
Pop his veil.
Oh, okay, so Sharslow didn't have Lasso. I was going to say he didn't want to commit the Lasso. And with the hood just used there on the Tide Hunter.
Oh, they're not going to smoke right under this ward, are they?
Oh, come on. Don't do it, bro. Oh, they have a sentry. Which
Are they going to use it?
just outside. Oh, come on. Come on, Infamous. Do it. They know. They're pinging it. Oh, no, FNG is pinging it. FNG certainly knows. Somebody
They're
knows.
saying let's take the fight to them.
Sharslow. He's burning away a lot of these trees, but oh no, he's caught out Darkus. They've caught him out here with the A-Blast on top as well, and he's certainly going to go down straight away here. No, he does jump inside of his Tide Hunter. He's okay for now. FN using that Rolling Thunder. Catching out the Tide Hunter is so tanky on top of this hero. They want to try and burst the lifesteal out on top of some of these other heroes. On the backside, out comes the X-Marks as well as the boat. Catching out Dream, but he's used that big AB. Coming forward, he wants to try and catch some of these heroes. That's a huge Echo Slam. Excess Vampire cleaning them up again. Sacred's trying to taunt himself away. Darkus is going to get stuck here. Do they stop the TP? Oh, that is a beautiful torrent coming out from old mate Robbo. Catches them down, and Sharslow doesn't have the lasso, but I don't think it matters because Excess Vampire again dunking on the side of Infamous. They want to get more. They're inside of the base. The AI Spice completely misses from everybody, but it doesn't matter because there's so much damage coming out from Gambit. And 18 minutes in, they're stuck inside of the base with 10k ahead. Darkus, he's trying to look for something, but he's not going to be able to connect onto anybody just yet.
All this early aggression, it's forcing Infamous to make predictable moves, and Gambit punishing it every step of the way. Tide Hunter, if he was connected by one more swashbuckle, he wouldn't have had the mana to use his Ravage. I don't think we've seen a Ravage this game yet in 18.5 minutes, so it's looking pretty rough. You know, you can have a Lifestealer inside of you who's got basically all the net worth on the team, but if he's just, just stuck in there, what's he really doing?
He's just chilling. He didn't even want to go out. There was obviously a dialogue between them, being like, let's try and get a Ravage off. Lysilla pops out, try and burst out one of these heroes. Actually, no, Sladen looks like he has been found out by the side of Gambit. Pepita is clipped by the Ice Blast as well. FN has used that Rolling Thunder. He's looking to try and connect. He does have the Diffusal Blade. Purges out onto Pepita. Gets one bounce. He's looking for a second one. Pepita's walking himself up there. That's a big shield crash as well. And they're just going to be able to take him down. They freshly picked up Basher on top of FN as well. Means that Darkest can't really hard commit with the Rage. At what point do you start just calling it? And looking towards your other group stage games for today?
Very soon. I mean, they might only have one left, right? This is the GSL format.
That is true. It is GSL format. So if they do lose 2 of these best of 3s in a row, they are kind of not looking good.
Yep. Well, goodbye. Another Observer Ward on Infamous's side.
Top side, though. They've called out FN. Oh my god. He just dodges that with a swashbuckle. FN is doing quite a lot of work. He has a lot of damage resist as well. He's coming back in. Swashbuckle back forward. He's stuck between the entirety of Infamous. They're eventually going to get the kill there. So it looked like it could have been a highlight reel there for FN. But unfortunately, he does eventually go down to it. They place 2 Observer Wards on the top side of the map, trying to get the vision on the Shark. So they bring him all the way back. But this Fisher is doing a lot of work as well. Avatos goes down onto the Batrider. He's so tanky. But he's eventually going to go down. Infamous. They pick up 2 big cores there, so it's a decent amount of net worth and a decent amount of experience going their way, but they do have a long mountain to climb if they're going to come back into this game.
Yeah, very slight misplay for. They
excess
found out Vampire.
Alright, this is big if they can catch out the Earthshaker as well. 3 quick kills here for the side of Infamous. He's going to lead them towards a few more objectives. Once the fight recap comes up, that's a big chunk of experience going their way. About a 2,000 gold swing as well for 4,000 experience. That's nice if you're Infamous.
They've got a tier 1.
Hell yeah.
It could be happening.
Can we get a feels good man in chat for Infamous being able to collect their first tower of the game at 20 minutes in? But Gambit, they want more. They want to keep fighting. FN does not want to slow down on this Pangolier. Everybody is TP'd out, so Gambit not going to be able to find anybody.
FNG nearly hitting up into his level 2 ultimate as well. Pretty decent spike in damage there as well. I really like that they upped the shatter threshold as well. Just a couple of %, but it means a lot. Ooh, Shatchler.
That is true. There's been quite a few situations where you're like, surely that guy will die. But he doesn't. And now, surely that guy will die? Yes, he does. Which is always good for AAs. Considering you don't get experience for kills that are long distance, obviously. Or do you get them now because with the assist debuff?
I feel like you do.
That would have to be something that the 10k Redditors would have to tell us later on.
Man, you can just see Infamous, they're just walking around. They're kind of headless shooks at this point. Granted, Gambit, they're doing a little bit of questioning themselves of, what's the next best course of action. But I think they know now is go time with that DD rune on the bot side. FN drops his bottle. Dream picks it up.
What is the most efficient play here for Infamous? Because they are walking around, kind of like you can throw a blanket over all 5 of them at this point, but what are they supposed to be doing? I feel like they can't just kind of face rush into a tier 1 tower because it's going to get blown up by excess Vampire and FN, but Gambit, they're going to bring the fight to them, so Infamous, they don't have to make a choice.
Get a Ravage off would be priority number 1.
Well, they have the Blink Dagger, they have the Echo Slam. They're going to try and just go straight here on the safe. He gets about half HP, but it looks like on the backside they've caught up Pepita. They're putting him out onto the cliff, and that is Cliff Teasy one more time here for the boys of Infamous. Pepita, he's going to get stuck up there. He's going to get burned alive as well. Dream's going to walk all the way forward. He does get glimpsed back, though, so he can't get into this fight like he wants to. They found out 2 more heroes here on the side of Infamous. Life Zero is just stuck inside of Old Mate in this Tiny. And he's going to try and stand here and fight. He gets a Halberd off as well, but Darkest, he doesn't have the net worth to try and fight 3 of these heroes, and he's going to go down, and Gambit picks up 4. And I mean, this was kind of roughly the same time that Game 1 ended, but this is just not looking good for Infamous at all. And Gambit, they're just going to get Roche and probably end the game fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, all these big teamfight ultimates don't mean anything unless you actually use them. Pepita was stuck on the high ground there. He hadn't used his Static Storm. Tidehunter was just waiting for the perfect Ravage to try and turn this game around, but you don't really need the perfect Ravage all the time. Sometimes you can hit onto 1 or 2, maybe get a pick off and start to turn the fight your way.
Yeah, it really does feel like Sacred's kind of just holding onto this R button. Oh no, they found out old mate Robbo once again. He's about half HP now. Avalanche Toss comes in, but they don't connect onto these heroes. Sagstorm comes down, they're just catching out Excess Vampire. Zershak is going to be able to walk himself out here. The AI Spice is going to be able to hit onto some of these heroes. Clips onto Robbo, and he's eventually going to go down to the damage coming out from Gambit. They're looking for more here on the Titan. Just click your R button, buddy. The game's going to be over pretty soon. Just hit it. Please, just hit it. He's not going to do it anymore in Gambit. They're just going to hit into this tier 2 tower because Infamous, they can't fight.
I think they're holding out for maybe one more fight on the high ground. Try and wait out the Conquer. You can't... Oh, no, he's going to go down.
That was so close to him just going down randomly. Oh, they're going to glimpse back onto the Troll Warlord. He does have his BKB. He doesn't have his ulti for another 25 seconds. Out comes Avalanche in the toss combat. They don't catch out Dream, and they're just going to kill off this tiny Sladen. He's not having the best of times now. They've called out the Lifestealer as well, so Gambit trying to fight back in, but this Troll Warlord, he's not all too healthy. He does have his ulti coming off cooldown very, very soon. They called out the Tidehunter, and again, he hasn't hit that R button all game. Just let him use it. Just let him use it once, Gambit, please. FN gets glimpsed all the way back in. He does have the Swashbuckle, but he used it too early. FN's getting called out. You have to Ravage on top of him, but no, it looks like he's not going to. They do throw out the... Oh, finally, he's hit it. That's a 3-hero Ravage coming out there from Sacred and Infamous. They potentially could start winning this fight, but no, Excess Vampire, he's saying no. We're going to win this game. We're going to close out this series 2-0 at the start of the day, and Excess Vampire cleans up to Sharslow, doing so much damage on this Batrider already, and Infamous, they're all going to go down. Sladen's the last one left, and they've killed FN, but what does it matter? And that is it. GG has been called from Pepita and Gambit. Dominant 2-0 here against the boys from South America.
Yeah, pretty good showing. I mean, CIS shows why they're one of the teams that get a couple of spots to that minor. They've had pretty good showings, and like I was saying before, on the world stage, Gambit especially, having those consistent performances, allowing to take podium finishes, and it was a clinic. You know, just going this ultra-aggressive style. Didn't feel like Infamous had the ability to play from behind. You know, there wasn't the turnaround potential quite like what Gambit had.
Yeah, it really did feel like Gambit kind of just won their lanes and won the game. There was no real reprieve here for Infamous, and can you say it's insanity, or can you give them props for trying to run basically the same thing again?
I don't mind them trying to run the same thing again, but I think you needed to change up what you allowed Gambit to get. You know, they had such great success with the Earthshaker and the Batrider especially, and then they just let it through. And I think for a team that really hates playing against Batrider, it kind of hamstrung them a little bit. You know, if they were going to pick the Lifestealer, you got to get rid of it, because it's one of the few BKB or, you know, spell immunity piercing abilities that we've still got that are in the meta at this point in time.
Yeah, it does really feel like they're just... Maybe it's kind of them just saying, you know what, let's try and get rid of our demons at the start of the day. You know, try and play against this Batrider, see if we can deal with it, see if we can do anything against it. But it just seems like they just couldn't get anything done. Maybe Robbo needs to try and have a few more of these melee matchups a little bit more. It just felt like he was kind of lackluster in that mid lane. Haven't seen all too much from him, but, you know, FN really put on a clinic this morning, and it just feels like Infamous kind of have a few kinks they need to work out. I guess, you know, group stage is the way to do it, but they've only got one best of 3 left, and if they have more kinks again, that's their tournament over.
Yeah, that would be it. I mean, they're coming up against what's most likely to be Bait, I believe, the Dendy team. Mm-hmm. They haven't lost game 2 yet. It's in game 2 right now. So Secret took out game 1 in pretty similar fashion, actually, 24 minutes as well. It's actually looking a lot more even, though, this time around.
Yeah, it does feel like they're probably going to have a decent time running into a few of these other teams, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. There's a lot more Dota to be played. I mean, we're on WePlay Esport _EN4, but of course there's also EN2, 3, and just get rid of that number as well. Lots of great games going on. I believe the one on that might be a little bit spicy is a Meepo pick by Nigma on EN2, so maybe that's worth tuning into, or just the mainstream there with Dandy's team. Yeah. Can they take a game off Secret?
That would be interesting if Bait can take a game off Secret, but unfortunately, boys and girls, that is it from the dynamic duo down under. This is it from me and Danog. We won't be casting anymore for WePlay Mad Moon. We're only able to cover these auxiliary matches that were overlapping for everybody else, but I had fun. casting these Gambit versus Infamous. It's always nice to get in the saddle, and especially seeing international teams play against each other and seeing these regions collide. Gambit obviously having a very strong showing here, being able to prove that they are very, very strong competitors in the CIS region, even in the international region. Do you have any passing thoughts here for everybody in Twitch chat right now, Daniel?
Not necessarily for Twitch chat, more for Infamous, and I hope that they can, pull themselves together and, refocus, center themselves, because that elimination match is scheduled for 1.5 hours time. So you don't want to go all the way to Kiev, play 2 series, and then get on a plane and go back home. That's pretty disheartening. So hopefully for their sake, they'll be able to make a better go at it, at least take it to 3 games, you would think. Mm-hmm. But for now, dominant showing by Gambit. I would favor them as being... I wouldn't surprise me if they were up in the grand final against Secret at the very end of things.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting to see if Gambit can push themselves quite heavily in this tournament. They do have a few big teams they're going to have to get through, but right now this is a very strong show coming from Gambit. But boys and girls, that is it from me and Danog. Make sure you follow both of us on Twitter at FlukeDota3, because unfortunately Dota 1 and Dota 2 were taken, and at DanogDota to keep up to date with what else that we're doing in the world of casting. Make sure you guys are also following at WePlay Esports as well on Twitter to keep up to date with all the games that are going on right now. So that is it from us here on EN4. Make sure you guys do jump over to EN... no number 2 and 3 to go see the other games while they're done, and hopefully you guys enjoy WePlay like we did, and hopefully we have a nice little banger of a grand finals coming into the minor. But that is it from us here. We're going to leave you with the end screen, and hopefully you guys we'll see you guys around.
Catch you later.